And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to the Tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway as we get ready for the run of the party in the Poconos 500. Today we are getting ready for a 30-lap event. Yep, 10 more laps than what we've had here this race weekend with trucks and Mobile and Cup Series events, which means pit strategy is going to come even more into play into this if we go into the long green flag runs that we've had in the past two events. Also, Pocono ready to play a big factor into this season's chase for the championship field because next week, folks, when the checkered flag waves at Kansas, we will know 10 drivers via top 10 in points and 2 drivers via wildcard spot that will battle it out for the championship. Of course, we still have the LCQ at Talladega, but we will know at least 12 of the 13 drivers that will battle it out for the championship. Plus, also keep in mind next week, too, the drivers who win the 3 races, the Trucks, Mobile, and Snickers Cup Series races at Kansas, they automatically get into the chase for the championship, too, and we don't know who the winners of those were going to be. So we could have 13, we could have 14 chase contenders. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to find out next week. But on the pole position for this race is going to be Levi McIntyre. Now, McIntyre at this current moment is not really in a good position to be able to make it into the chase for the championship. He's 22nd in points. He's been actually having some good finishes as of late, but he really needed to start getting on this roll he's been on back about the end of the first half of the regular season. He started doing it after the All-Star race, and that seemed to be just a little too late for him, but there's still an opportunity that he could maybe win here today, win next week at Kansas, get in via wildcard spot. He could win next week at Kansas, automatically make it way into the chase, or he could win the LCQ and get into the chase. There's still so many scenarios for drivers, regardless of where they are in points, to still make the chase for the championship. Starting off alongside of him, a driver who started off the season really well, Charles Sanford, had been consistent through the first half of the season. Then after the All-Star break, things started going a little bit south for the number 55. Now, in the past few weeks, he's starting to build himself back up. He's up to 11th in the point standings, and I've been actually looking back through the history books from Season 3 up to Season 6, not counting Season 6 because of Barney Ward retiring after his win in the Daytona 500, but Season 3, it was, I believe, Trent Whitney won the Daytona 500, he made the chase. Season 4, James McLeod won the Daytona 500, he made the chase. I'm sorry, nope, that was Jacob Lawler, won the 500, and then made the chase, and then Season 5 was actually James McLeod. He won the 500, and he made the chase. Barney Ward was Season 6. He retired right after winning the Daytona 500, so that one doesn't count. But in 3 of the last 4 seasons, the Daytona 500 winner has made the chase for the championship, and in only one case has the Daytona 500 winner won the championship. That was Season 3 with Trent Whitney. But Charles Sanford trying to become the 4th Daytona 500 in 5 seasons to make the chase for the championship. Lining up in row number 2, how about Audi last week, with Anthony McCurry becoming the 2nd Audi driver to go to victory lane? James Silverfox starting up here at the front for this event. Could he become the 3rd Audi driver to go to victory lane? You never know, and Silverfox had a good run here in the Mobile and Cup Series race yesterday. Alongside of him is going to be Andrea Eriksson in the 42. Eriksson had a really tough race last week in the longest race of the season, the Coke 600, looking to try and rebound. She's now dropped down to 14th in the current standings. Really needs to get something going here if she's to be able to get out of the slump she's currently been in as she comes into this race 6th in rookie points, and as I said, 14th in overall standings. As a matter of fact, the gap between herself and 10th place right now is a slim 6 points, so there is an opportunity for her to be able to rebound back after her hard luck last week at Charlotte. And rounding out the top 5 is going to be Daniel Day. I mean, Daniel came in mid-season replacing the non-commenting Kenny McCrory. There's a chance still that Daniel Day, even with the limited number of races he's run, that he could get himself up there in the hunt for the championship by winning next week or at the Talladega LCQ. I don't really think he can position himself with a win here today, but he'd love to be able to go to victory lane nonetheless. And keep in mind, too, Isaac Canepa in the Truck Series didn't take the green flag to start off the season at Daytona. He's up there in possible championship contention. James Qualls didn't take the green flag at Daytona in the Mobile Cup Series. He's also up inside the top 10 in the Mobile Cup Series standings. So anything can happen, regardless of whether you have started all races this season or only a limited number of them. Getting ready, though, to get these cars rolling off. They're going to complete a couple pace laps, and we're going to show you the starting lineup while they do that, and also talk about the opportunity for some drivers to today clinch themselves spots already in this season's Snickers Cup Series chase for the championship. Ian Dutta comes in with a 20-point advantage over Bob Jones, but the gap between himself and 10th in the standings is a total of 72 points. Oh, sorry, nope, 62 points. 62 points, the difference between 1st to 10th. I think Ian Dutta, if he finishes well today, it's pretty much over. He's going to make the chase for the championship. Bob Jones comes into this race a total of 42 points ahead of the top of 10th place in points. If he comes away with a decent finish today, we could see him locked into the chase for the championship, and there are 4 others that also have an opportunity with a good run today to lock themselves in. Jacob Lawler, rookie Joshua Collard, Danny Wells, and 2-time winner Chris Washer all could lock themselves spots already this season in this season's chase for the championship, regardless of where they finish next week at Kansas. It all depends for those 4, Lawler, Collard, Wells, and Washer, where they finish today. I think for Ian Dutt and Bob Jones, they basically have to finish top 20, and they've already clinched themselves spots in this season's chase. Ian Dutta starting up there in the 8th position. Not really sure where Bob Jones is going to be starting off today's event, but we'll see. As far as the drivers that could move in or fall out of the top 10 in points today, Noah Hart, he's 7th in points, Sean Galligan 8th, Austin LaPlante 9th, and Harrison Langford is in that critical 10th spot in points. The drivers that will be trying to dislodge him from that top 10 position include Charles Samper, Megan Atkins, Richard Johnson, Andrea Erickson, Pichu London, and last week's winner, Anthony McCrory. As a matter of fact, from 10th position on down to 19th in points, they're separated by only 21 points. That's how close it is, and it could be even closer heading in next week to Kansas Speedway. But it's time to turn these cars loose. They exit the final corner, turn 3 here of the Tricky Triangle. Levi McIntyre and Charles Samper get ready to put us under the green flag. Flagman's ready, green is out, we're underway here. 30 laps of racing in the Party in the Poconos 500. First car to step out of the line looks like it's Sean Henley. Just ahead of him, Daniel Day moves down, and there's another car moving down. I think that was Chris Washer in the 10. 3 wide already, about 2-3 rows back. We got to be careful here, though, because they're going to start getting testy. 4 wide back there with Daniel Day. James Silverfox, they're bouncing off of each other. Come on, guys, keep it together. And I think they did. They settled it back out to 3 wide. Andrea Erickson caught in the extreme high line there. Joshua Collard back there. Ian Dutta back there. Their hearts must have been in their throats with that going on in front of them. They would have been completely boxed in, had trouble broken out. As Sean Henley moves on by, Chris Washer moves by, and now Silverfox is caught in the outside line. There's our Moblin Cup Series winner from yesterday, Cody Lamas. He's now up here, had himself a good qualifying spot, and now he's inside the top 10. I think he's going to cross the stripe somewhere around the 5th, 6th, 7th position, I would think. And he's in 6th place. As meanwhile, up ahead, Daniel Day going to the bottom. That's for 2nd position from Charles Samper. This all going on behind Levi McIntyre. And what a big run Daniel Day got there on Samper. Or not on Samper, I'm sorry, McIntyre. He cleared Samper. Right now, the top 6, top 7, they're all single file. That's good, at least for now. Doesn't mean it's going to last that way, and the caution flag's out. Yellow flag is out. The yellow lights were on there in turn 2. There you can see they're on the straightaway between turn 2 and turn 3. The caution light's on, so the caution flag is out for the first time today. I'm trying to look and see if it was mid-pack or near the rear of the field. We'll see when they come off of 3 here if there's any gap in the field. I'd say it might have been near the rear of the field, or else we may have gotten away with a small wreck again like we did in the Trucks and Moblin Cup Series races, but Levi McIntyre, the pole sitter, hangs on. He is the leader under the yellow. Daniel Day in 2nd. 3rd is Chris Washer. Then I believe it's Charles Samper and Sean Henley. That's the top 5. Who was this wreck for? Oh, looks like it might have been for the 56. Kyle Corbett. Corbett, who had hard luck last week at Coca-Cola Speedway after he got involved in a wreck there at the later stages, and he was up there running at the front. He got a top 10 though. Whoa, Schwallenberg is spun right in front of the damaged machine of Sean Galligan, who I believe was the one who got together with the Kyle Corbett machine. Looks like Schwallenberg's going to be able to continue. He's trying to make his way through here. Has to go through the grass to get by Dylan Poteet, Galligan, McLeod, a lot of the Tweenix cars back here, Jessica Shelton back here as well. But the caution flag is out. I believe Sean Galligan and Kyle Corbett may have something to do with this, and Galligan comes in 8th in points. Corbett trying to make his way back up in the top 10. He's 18th in points. Not what the two of them needed early on here, but as I said, it's still early. So we'll see what exactly happened to them. Levi McIntyre is the leader. We'll come back after we take a look at the replay and document you on the drivers that may have taken the opportunity to pit here in the very first stages of this race here at Pocono. Well, let's see if we can find where the initial contact was. Right here, they were almost 4 wide, almost 5 wide. Nick Barney, Kyle Corbett, Dylan Poteet's going to actually be the one to get into Kyle Corbett. And Corbett gets turned up the racetrack. Oh, man, that's actually a pretty hard lick there for him. And then there's Galligan. Oh, Galligan, he just barely got clipped. And I think his car got loose as he tried to save it. And he just got up into the wall coming off that corner. So we got away with a single car incident, basically. Galligan got a tiny piece of it, tried to hang on to it, but does get the safer barrier just a tiny little bit. Don't think that's going to damage him too badly. Corbett was able to drive away. Let's take a look now at that little incident that took place with Dylan Schwallenberg under caution. And here's what happened to Schwallenberg. Apparently they were 3 wide here under caution, and I don't know if Schwallenberg got a tap from behind by William Duncan or if he just got loose and got up into LaPlante. But Joshua Michael's going to get collected in that as well. I thought the 20 was the only car to get some damage out of that, but the 82 and the 48 did get some damage as well. Don't know if that's going to affect them or not. And then everybody else does a good job getting past the Dylan Schwallenberg machine. Exact same corner there. I don't know, maybe, just maybe, turn 2 is going to be the trouble spot today. I mean, I haven't really seen drivers have a lot of trouble with it, unless they get 3 and 4 wide, but that's 2 incidents in back-to-back laps that we've had in that exact same area. One of them under green, the other one under caution. But the yellow flag's out. Let's jump back now for the restart and see if anybody did come down pit road. Well, I'll tell you, for a commentator to have to document everybody that comes down pit road when some of the drivers decide to stay out, that can be pretty difficult. But these guys made it easy on me here. Everybody came down pit road that caution flag. Everybody came, topped off the fuel tank and everything, but a couple drivers gained some spots on pit road and are going to be restarting up further in the front than they were when they came down pit road. McIntyre is still the leader, Daniel Day second, but Sean Henley's team got him off third, so he'll restart inside the top 5. Charles Sanford in 4th, and Ian Dutta's team was very quick as well. He's going to restart in 5th place. Cody Lamas in 6th. Dougie Shear's crew was fast enough to get him out in 7th. There's Jacob Lawler trying to clinch himself a chase spot here today. He's up to 8th. Silver Fox in 9th, and another driver trying to clinch himself a chase spot here today. That is Bob Jones in 10th. And again, Dre Erickson 11th, Chris Washer 12th, Mary Cole's now 13th, 14th Jake Cole, 15th is his teammate Pichu London. Then you got Kyle Matthews, Richard Johnson, Joshua Collard, Noah Hart, and Cole Daly. That is the top 20 as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Levi McIntyre's crew got him on pit road and off pit road first, and he will restart us here. Sean Henley, he's going to be the first to step out of line here. He comes to the bottom on Daniel Day. See if anybody retired after all that. Doesn't look like it. A couple of drivers starting near the rear of the field, though, as a result of having to make some extended pit stops. Joshua Michaels, Dylan Schwallenberg, Kyle Corbett, and Sean Galligan all making repairs, but they are still on the lead lap. The question, though, is are they up to speed? Don't know. Now, it's been the case here in our last 2 races, the Truck Series and Mobile Cup Series races, that we've had a wreck happen. Not big ones either, but we've had a wreck happen, had a caution come out, drivers have made a pit stop, and then we've gone clean and green all the rest of the way. But we have 10 extra laps put onto this particular race that could come into play on whether we have another yellow or not. If this thing does go into a long green flag run, though, these drivers can make it about 15 laps on 1 tank of fuel, which means everybody that came down, if they got their tanks completely full of Sunoco racing fuel, they're going to have to be back down somewhere around between laps 20 to 23. Right now, though, it's all Levi McIntyre. Daniel Day was able to hold off Sean Henley, and now Charles Sanford seems to be trying to get the outside line working. He may have actually done it. He did. Sanford got himself a good run out of turn 2, and he's going to hold on to 3rd. Now Ian Dutta to the inside of Sean Henley. Henley's actually been doing well in the past few weeks. He had a top 10 last week in the Coke 600, ended up just barely getting that top 10, got 10th place. And he's actually moved himself up to 17th in the point stands. A former winner this season, won at a road course, which is a kind of track we normally don't see Henley do very well at. He won at Infineon. And he's been working his way steadily up through the point standings. Him, Anthony McCurry, Pichu London, those could be a couple of silent ones that we may not expect to see up there battling for a spot inside the top 10 once we reach Kansas next week. And look at Ian Dutta. Ian Dutta continuing to put on a clinic. He knows that if he finishes well today, he's automatically clinched himself a spot in the chase for the championship, regardless of whether he finishes dead last next week at Kansas. But he's making a statement here. He wants to have another extra 5 bonus points for winning another race. That would be his 3rd win of the season. And we know that Stewart Haas Racing's put together some pretty good programs here. Eric Burton ended up putting a Stewart Haas Racing car in Victory Lane in the Truck Series event here 2 days ago. Meanwhile, up front, it is Levi McIntyre still leading the way. I'm trying to remember where McIntyre finished in the Truck and Moldman Cup Series races, and I can't seem to quite pull it in. But nonetheless, he has been dominating here today. Nobody's been able to really get to the back bumper of him, or if they have, they haven't been able to do anything with the 17. He's been able to turn back all comers, but he may have his hands full here. Here comes the points leader, Ian Dutta, taking a peek to the bottom, but not going to be able to quite make the move this time. Here's a guy we should definitely watch out for, Cody Lamas. Ended up winning in the Mobile Cup Series race yesterday, picked up his second win of the season in that series. And he is up here, and he is ready to pounce if necessary. Michael Waltrip Racing already has one of their cars damaged in Kyle Corbett, but Sanford and Cody both running very well at the current moment. As Richard Johnson now moves underneath him, that's for a position. That would be, I believe, for the 6th position? Not certain, but Richard Johnson, let's talk about him for a minute. Richard Johnson, we know that all 3 of the Petty Enterprises cars have really been having stellar seasons. Johnson's 13th in points, behind his teammates Langford, who's 10th in points, and Joshua Collard, who's 4th in points. But I'll tell you, Dodge has really done a good job here this season. They came back with 2 teams, and this team, especially Petty Enterprises, has been really showing that Dodge still has what it takes. Dodge will still be around next season. Chris Washer and our current points leader, Ian Dutta, they're going to be joining together in a 2-car team. And speaking of Ian Dutta, he got around Levi McIntyre. McIntyre appeared to either have messed up that corner or he got really loose, because Ian Dutta is now the new leader, and Richard Johnson's right behind him now into 2nd. Where is Anthony McCurry? I mean, I bet that win last week at Coca-Cola 600 certainly boosted his confidence. Right now, he's in the 19th position on that inside line, trying to move forward. He's got Kyle Matthews just ahead of him. McCurry trying to continue to work his way up to the front, as I said. He, Pichu London, Sean Henley all seem to have been on a good streak of finishes, which is what you need if you're going to try and make the chase. And they're just barely on the outside looking in. He's side by side right now with his teammate James Silverfox in the 41. There's his other teammate, Noah Hart, currently in the 12th position right behind Jacob Lawler. Noah Hart trying to get Audi to victory lane for the 2nd straight week and for the 3rd time in Noah Hart's career. Now Noah Hart, I don't believe, can mathematically clinch himself a spot in the chase for the championship here this week. But if he comes away with a decent enough finish, I think it would basically take a lot of pressure off of him next week at Kansas as far as how good a finish he would have to get. As now we got a new leader up front again. This time it's a Dodge. That's going to be Richard Johnson in the 93. If I recall correctly, I think Richard Johnson was a chaser last year. I'm trying to remember. I think he drove the 11, and I think no, he wasn't. No, he was actually the highest running non-chaser for a majority of the season when he drove that 11 machine. So he was oh so close last year, and I think that if last year he had made it, he was so consistent during the chase that I think he could have been a contender for the championship. He doesn't want to have that happen again this year, and right now he is running out in front. He's actually dominating at the moment. He pulled away big time from Ian Dutta and Sean Henley. Look at the gap back there. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Oh, I thought we had drivers coming to pit road. I think we do. I think Ian Dutta's on pit road. Let's find out. I don't see Dutta up here. Yep, he's coming. So is Silver Fox. Whoa, contact! That was, I think, McLeod and maybe Schwallenberg. Was that Schwallenberg back there? There's Silver Fox, Poteet, Dunham. Yeah, it was Schwallenberg and James McLeod getting together. Michael Norman, Galligan, and Jessica Shelton all coming on to pit road. Now here comes Kyle Corbett as well. So a little bit of tempers flaring there between James McLeod and Dylan Schwallenberg. Don't know what that's all about exactly. Right now, Richard Johnson, let's see if he's going to come to pit road this time around. And looks like he is. Yes, he's hitting the brake there. He's going to slow it down. He's bringing his car down. Daniel Day deciding to stay out, but here comes everybody else. McIntyre, Henley, Jake Cole back there, I believe that's who I'm seeing there. Chris Washer, Anthony McCurry, Cody Lamas, Jacob Lawler. I see Joshua Collard there, Drew Austin, Dylan Young. Oh, just about everybody, I believe. Everybody with the exception of, I think, 3 cars. And that's one of them right there. Daniel Day, Dougie Shears, and Cole Daly. Those 3, I think, decided to stay out. Now Daniel Day moving by Dylan Schwallenberg. That, I believe, would put the 20 car 1 lap down. Schwallenberg is damaged, but apparently not off the pace. And he's going to hold off Daniel Day because he made a pit stop not too long ago. He's got fresher tires than the 24. And fresher tires means more grip, and Schwallenberg was able to make it work. Here comes Kyle Matthews to pit road. Oh, actually, no, I think Matthews was the leader. Yes, he was. I was looking at the wrong person. Matthews, Daniel Day now coming down, as well as Dougie Shears and Cole Daly. Interesting that all 3 Hendrick cars that are still up to speed decide to come down one lap later, and Dougie Shears decided to do the same thing. Austin LaPlante, I believe, is still on the lead lap, but he was, as we saw, involved in that incident under our first and only caution so far. Now we're going to have to watch Kyle Matthews. I would assume the driver we got to watch for is Richard Johnson, because he was the leader before this cycle of pit stops happened, and here he comes. I don't think that there's going to be any battle between Kyle Matthews and Richard Johnson. I think Richard Johnson's going to blow past the number 5, and he's going to retake the lead after these cycle of pit stops finally end up coming full circle. So as everything stands right now, past halfway, Richard Johnson would be the leader. Ian Dutta would be in second. Third place, Sean Henley. Fourth place would be Dylan Poteet. Wow, they really worked hard on that car, apparently. Fifth place would be Jake Cole. Levi McIntyre would be sixth. Seventh would be Silver Fox. Eighth place would be Kyle Matthews. Ninth place, Chris Washer. And Anthony McCurry has now cracked the top 10. That's one thing about Pocono and pit strategy. You never know who's going to pop up inside the top 10 after the cycle of pit stops is over. Battle back here for third between some teammates out of Twinix Racing. Dylan Poteet now going to take away that spot from his teammate Sean Henley. Jake Cole now entering into the fray there as well. As up ahead, looks like we could have a battle for the lead on our hands in just a moment. Richard Johnson has it, but Ian Dutta is slowly reeling him in. Oh, and the caution's out. Caution is waving for the second time today. Just after the cycle of green flag pit stops. I'll tell you, it makes me feel good to see the caution come out after the pit stops are over, especially with what we saw last week at Charlotte, where a lot of drivers ended up getting trapped a lap down with the caution coming out during the green flag pit stop. So everybody will be back on the same page here, rather than having several drivers off the lead lap due to coming down pit road at the wrong time. But the caution flag away for the second time. Looks like there's smoke in turn 1. That's where the incident apparently took place. Johnson's going to hang on for the lead. It's going to be Dutta in second. I believe Jake Cole is third with Poteet fourth, and Henley in fifth place. Who was this caution for, though? Oh, Cole Daly, one of those Hendrick cars we saw stay out the extra lap. He is smoking. That car is badly damaged. And it looks like he may have ended up getting into it with his teammate, Austin LaPlante. Because LaPlante's got a lot of damage on the front of his Lowe's Impala. Trying to see if anybody else is damaged back here. And possibly Chris Washer? He's got some damage, it almost looks like, to the left side of his Auto Value bumper-to-bumper Dodge. Kyle Matthews has some damage as well. And Kyle, if I'm not mistaken, was up in the 8th position after that cycle of green flag pit stops. Cody Lamas, our Mobile Cup Series winner, he's got a lot of hood damage on the Duck Dynasty Toyota. So this was a little bit more than meets the eye, I would assume. And Charles Jackson, boy, the defending champ, catch a break. He is involved as well. Jackson, this I think is like the third week in a row he's had trouble. Man. He had trouble at Champs-Élysées, he had trouble last week at Charlotte, and he has trouble again here today at Pocono. And these drivers, just after making pit stops, just about 3-4 laps ago, they're going to come down and make pit stops here again. Now, is this going to be a gas and go stop, or are they going to go for rubber again? Well, James McLeod, Dylan Poteet were one of the first few into their pit stall, and they're going on right side. Same for the leader, Richard Johnson. Is anybody going to be bold and go with a fuel-only stop here? They just made pit stops not too long ago. Do they really need that fresh rubber? Here they come. Everybody pulling out of their pit stall. Pit road could be in trouble. Oh, boy. Kyle Corbett's in trouble. Dylan Poteet's in trouble. We've got an incident on pit road. Poteet blocking drivers. Look out. Oh, boy. This is not going to be good. Poteet is smoking. He's stalled out there in the middle of pit road. Everybody's trying to get around him, and Poteet's creating a huge black smoke screen in front of everybody else. And Daniel Day was first off pit road. Then Dutta, Shears, Jake Cole, and Richard Johnson. But we had trouble on pit road here. It was a busy place, and it looks like some drivers got quite a bit of damage from whatever just happened right there. I saw Poteet get together with somebody. I'm not exactly sure who it was. And look at the Daniel Day car. He's got damage. He's the leader, but he's got damage on the back of his machine. What happened to him? Caution is out. Utter chaos taking place here. We are just around nearly almost 10 laps to go, and right now our leader is damaged. Dylan Poteet, who has run up inside the top 5, is damaged and smoking. And a number of other drivers have unidentified damage to their machines. We got to go back, look at replays now, and see exactly what went down here under these last few laps. This was a three-way battle for what I believe was the 8th position at the time between Chris Washer, Kyle Matthews, and Anthony McCrory. Watch right here. Chris Washer not going to give very much room to Kyle Matthews. Matthews can't do anything. He's already up against the outside retaining wall. He can't give any more room. And Washer moves up. I think he was thinking McCrory was going to pass him. But Kyle Matthews was there, and there was nothing that Kyle Matthews could do. Anthony McCrory able to get down to the inside. Fortunate for him. There you see where the Cody Lamas machine and Daniel Day machine get their damage as Cody runs into the back of the 24. But I don't think this is over. This I don't think is over by a long shot, because these drivers, there were several others that got involved. Here comes Cole Daly into the mix here. He's going to run straight into the back of his teammate Kyle Matthews right there. He spins down right in front of Dougie Shears. Man, that was a close call. And I don't think it's over for Cole Daly either. Oh, look out. Lawler gets through. Mary Cole gets through. Cittadino. Everybody trying to get down to the bottom or the top to avoid the 88. Everybody does good so far. Was there something back here that happens then? Maybe with the 10 of Chris Washer? Because I know that there were some other drivers that got involved in something. Charles Jackson for one. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Pichu London gets through. Look out. Oh, no. Charles is... Oh, he's going to hit Cole Daly. And there's where Austin LaPlante gets his damage. He's going to hit Charles Jackson. Jackson's car actually flips over on its roof. That's the first flip we've had there this weekend at Pocono, and it's Charles Jackson in the 19 up and into the safer barrier. End over end. No wonder that car teleported to pit road. Oh my goodness. Well, we know how much the 19 car has as far as luck at Pocono. Think back to Elliott Sadler, that hard hit he took coming off the Long Pond straightaway. Well, Charles Jackson in the 19 car, actually the same paint scheme, believe it or not. He ends up flipping here, coming into turn 1 and out of turn 1. Man, that was crazy. That's one of the hardest impacts I think we've seen this entire race weekend. Most of the wrecks that we've had have been 1, 2, 3 car spins, and everybody's been able to get by. But this is the first really hard impact wreck that we have seen. And Charles Jackson teleports pit road. But speaking of pit road, we had trouble on pit road. Let's look back at a replay of that. We are looking at Dylan Poteet's pit stall from the helicopter view. Now watch as Poteet gets his team ready to get him off of pit road. There's traffic coming in. I believe just in front of Danny Wells is Kyle Corbett's pit stall. Corbett's going to take, and he's going to try to pull in just a moment here. Right there. Oh, okay. His pit stall was behind William Duncan's, and Poteet was to his inside, and I don't think he knew that Poteet was there, and Poteet just runs into the back of the 6 car. And then, ooh, Trent. Yikes. Trent Dunham, James McLeod just barely getting through there. And then here's where the trouble is. Watch here. Poteet now is badly damaged. Black smoke emerging. His engine's obviously completely kaput. And here's Drew Austin, Megan Atkins wanting to leave pit road. Poteet can't seem to get it fired up, and his car has stalled out on the pit lane. And it just caused a whole log jam back here. It's a wonder more drivers didn't wreck. There's Langford just able to get through, but Jake Rogers has to wait, and there's going to be a number of other drivers that have to get through too. I don't know how bad the damage is to the rear of the number 6 machine of William Duncan, making his debut in the 6 team this season. He drove for the 6 team last season, but they did a number change now this season from the 99 to the 6. And there's everybody else trying to get by. Drew Austin going to lose valuable positions here on pit road due to Dylan Poteet holding him up. Galligan gets held up as well, but that's a tough break for Dylan Poteet. I don't think he's going to be too happy with Kyle Corbett, because Corbett basically just took Poteet out of this thing, and Poteet was running up inside the top 10 before this happened. Oh, more contact between the two Brits, Ralph Mason and Sean Galligan right there. I didn't see that happen either. Wow. Pit road just as treacherous as the racetrack itself, apparently, as a number of drivers having difficulty here finding space with each other, coming on and off of pit road. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing with a total of 9 laps remaining in today's event. Now, Daniel Day, remember we saw him get hit from behind by Cody Lamas when the incident with Chris Washer and Kyle Matthews took place. So I don't know if that 24 car is up to speed or not, but they got him off pit road first. He's the leader. Ian Dutta came out second, then it's Dougie Shears, Jake Cole, and Richard Johnson in the top 5. Anthony McCurry looking for back-to-back wins as he's in 6th. Henley is in 7th. Silver Fox 8th, Noah Hart in 9th, and 10th place is Trent Dunham now as he's now cracked the top 10. James McLeod right behind him in 11th, 12th Charles Sanford, Lawler in 13th, 14th Mary Cole, Levi McIntyre the pole sitter now back in 15th. And the rest of the top 20 are a couple of teammates, Harrison Langford and Joshua Collard in 16th and 17th, Dylan Young, Nick Barney, and Megan Atkins. That is the top 20. As we get ready to go back to green, we do have drivers out of the race now as a result of what we saw happen. Cody Lamas, his teammate Kyle Corbett, they've retired, as well as Dylan Poteet, Cole Dowley, and Charles Jackson. Three of those drivers retiring from the race due to on-track incidents. 2 of them, though, retiring due to that incident on pit road. And I don't know what exactly is going to be a conversation between Dylan Poteet and Kyle Corbett, but I'm certain the race officials are going to be keeping an eye on both those drivers, as I'm sure tempers may be flaring before this thing is all said and done. Green flag back out here. Daniel Day, despite that rear end damage, appears to possibly be up to speed. I don't know. I don't get to really find out because they're going to go 3 wide almost behind him with Dougie Shears, Ian Dutta, and Jake Cole. Let's see if Dougie makes any move on the 24. 24 is up to speed, apparently. Well, maybe not. Well, yeah, he is. Okay. I thought he wasn't. I thought he was running 185 and Dougie was running 193, but that wasn't the case. But Daniel Day is going to get passed for the lead nonetheless. Dougie Shears to the point. Dougie was a 2-time winner last season when he drove the 17 for Roush Fenway Racing. This season, though, he's been winless, and he'd love to be able to pick up a victory here at Pocono. Hitting the stripe, we got ourselves a total of 8 laps to go. We've had 2 caution flags. And right now, we have a total of 5 drivers that have DNF'd from this race, giving us a total of 37 drivers still on track and still on the lead lap. Good battle raging here for 3rd. Ian Dutta has it. Sean Henley and Anthony McCurry seem to want it. And how about Kyotech today? Anthony McCurry, Noah Hart, and who's the other one? James Silverfox. All having really good runs right now, all up inside the top 10. New leader, Jake Cole in the number 39. Now, Ian Dutta has gone to victory lane twice this season. Those are the only 2 wins for Stewart Haas Racing. Jake Cole and Pichu London have not yet been able to make it to victory lane. And Jake Cole looking really good right now as he has taken the lead in the Alltel Chevrolet. Let's try and find a couple drivers that are trying to clinch themselves spots in this season's chase by a good finish here today. We know Ian Dutta's running well, but how about Jacob Lawler in the 11 car, 3rd in the standings? Where is he? There he is. He's in the thick of all this in the 15th position right now. Very good run for him. And the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, he's sitting pretty at the current moment. Just got to hope that trouble doesn't break out around him. Where's Bob Jones in the 27th, 2nd in standings. Right now in 23rd, working his way to the inside of Drew Austin, trying to find his way inside the top 20. He's still got some time, but time is slowly starting to run out. I saw Danny Wells back there. He's in 28th, now working underneath of Ralph Mason. He's a driver who could get a spot in the chase after today's race, but right now, not exactly the best of runs for the Twinks Racing Chevrolet, as I believe he's trying to work under Ralph Mason for the 27th position. And there you see, making a move to the inside, that orange machine, that's Joshua Collard. It's another of the drivers we were watching today. He's in 16th right now. Now going underneath his teammate out of Penny Enterprises, Richard Johnson. That's for a spot inside the top 15 there for the Wheaties Dodge. Collard, as I said, comes to this race 4th in the current points. Now where's Chris Washer? We know he was damaged probably from that incident there with Kyle Matthews. He's 33rd, so he may have to wait till next week to be able to have himself a spot clinched in this season's chase. But right now, Jake Cole leading the way, but look who's coming. Sean Henley in the 25. Now Henley comes in 17th in points, but if he could pick up a 2nd win this season, that could put him right up in contention for a wild card spot. And look who's coming to the front. James McLeod, who started way at the rear of this field. I believe he may have started back around the 40th, 41st, 42nd position. After pit strategy and all that's going on, he's up to the 3rd place now. And here come the Kyotech boys. James Silverfox and Noah Hart coming up here. They want to put Audi in victory lane for the second straight week if they can. Don't count out Roush Fenway. They got Nick Barney up here, as well as Levi McIntyre. And there's Mary Cole making a charge to the front there for Joe Gibbs Racing as they go underneath the Indutta. Trent Dunham up here in the mix. Joshua Collard up here. And Charles Sanford's been able to battle back after he slipped back after the cycle of green flag pit stops. As now the battle's on for the lead. Sean Henley all over the back bumper of Jake Cole. Sean Henley, former Snickers Cup Series champion, trying to make a case for himself to make this season's chase, but here comes his teammate to the bottom. James McLeod trying to go for second off of his teammate Sean Henley. Right now it's one Stewart Haas racing car, two Tweenix racing cars, and two Kyotech racing cars that complete the top 5 at the current moment. Which team's going to win out here, as when we hit the stripe there'll be 3 to go. McLeod is taken second from Henley. Now Henley's got the car behind him of James Silverfox and Noah Hart. Right now, though, it is all Jake Cole, but here comes McLeod to the bottom, looking for the top position. Will he be able to get to the inside of Jake Cole? Yes, he will. Side by side between two Chevrolets. Sean Henley waiting to see which line opens up, but actually, well, I thought Silverfox was making a move to the inside, but apparently Noah Hart got a good run around the outside, and they were almost double wide between the two of them for the 4th position. Jake Cole strong off of turn 3 and into turn 1. But here comes McLeod still side by side with him trying to take the top spot. That brings Sean Henley, Noah Hart, and James Silverfox right to them. Now the 51 is clear. New leader, James McLeod, clear on the Jake Cole machine. Here comes Sean Henley, maybe trying to make it a Tweenix 1-2 finish here at Pocono. McLeod has not been to victory lane, I don't think, since season 5. Remember last week, that was the same situation for Anthony McCrory. But here comes Jake Cole. He's going to try to deny James McLeod. Here he comes to the bottom. Jake Cole back to the front. He made that look easy. And now here comes Silver Fox side by side for second place with McLeod. Blue Fox and Silver Fox side by side for second. This all going on behind Jake Cole, who's been shown 2 to go by the race official up in the flag stand. Look at Nick Barney all of a sudden up here in the mix there in that 3M Ford. 3 wide for second. Noah Hart sticks it way down to the bottom with his teammate James Silverfox and James McLeod. Things getting testy up here at the front. If they can make it to the white flag, everything can break loose if it wants to, and we'll still race it back to the checkers. But right now, Jake Cole is out in front. Here comes McLeod back to the bottom on Silverfox. Nick Barney underneath for 4th on the Noah Hart machine. Sean Henley, Dougie Shears, a couple of former Snickers Cup Series champs, they're coming back to the front. They're in 5th and 6th. As they come down through turn 3, here comes McLeod getting a better run than Jake Cole was, coming down to the white flag, 1 to go. Our Melbourne Cup Series race finished with a last lap pass. Cody Lamas took home the win. Can McLeod do the same here today? It's Jake Cole leading. McLeod not able to make a move this time, as right behind him, 2 wide there for about maybe 3 rows back. Here comes McLeod peeking to the bottom. Jake Cole tries to get the run off of turn 1. He does get it. Trying to hold off that number 51 as much as he can. The Monster Cat Chevrolet against the Alltel Chevrolet. And Nick Barney all of a sudden comes up in the mix here too. Big run on the back of McLeod. Out of 2, here comes McLeod. Time to make his move heading into the final corner. Turn number 3. Jake Cole high side. James McLeod inside. Can Jake Cole get the run off the corner? It looks like McLeod may have cleared him. McLeod has cleared him. Last lap pass on the final turn. Coming to the checkers. James McLeod pulls it off. He wins the Party in the Poconos 500 here today at Pocono Raceway. Oh, so close for Jake Cole, but James McLeod couldn't have timed it any perfect as he takes home the checkered flag here, and amazingly enough, that is only the second win this season for Tweenix Racing. It's the first win of the season for James McLeod in the Snickers Cup. What a victory for the Monster Cat Star Fox Chevrolet. It's been a pretty dismal season for McLeod. 37th in the point standings. But that, I think, just made it all worthwhile. James McLeod, his first win of the season. And you can't say it yet because we don't know what's going to happen with a couple of other 2-time winners up near the top 10. But if James McLeod could pick up a victory next week, he could be right in the hunt for a wild card spot, even though it really wouldn't matter because if he won next week, he'd automatically make the chase. But that's got to be a shot in the arm for the Tweenix Racing boys. And what a performance there by two of the Tweenix cars there. James McLeod and Sean Henley coming away with solid top 10 runs. Let's take a look at our official full results here. James McLeod picks up the victory. He started way back. I don't really know exactly where he started, but I know he started near the rear of the field. So what a tremendous job of cutting his way up through the field to pick up this win. Jake Cole, so close. He's another driver in the same boat as James McLeod. 41st in points is Jake Cole. He's actually, I think, the last place of the full-time drivers in the standings. But a solid runner-up finish for him. He wanted that win badly, just couldn't quite do it. Nick Barney came out of absolutely nowhere to come away with a solid run of third place today. James Silverfox and Noah Hart. How about the Kyotech Audis? 1 week after Anthony McCurry picks up their third win of their Audi history in NNSCRA, the two Kyotech boys of Silverfox and Noah Hart come away with solid top 5 runs. Noah Hart, I don't know. Is this enough to get him locked into the chase? I don't know for certain. We're going to have to find out when we find out our official standings. How about Sean Henley? He has been on such a run. Had a top 10 last week at Charlotte. Another top 10 today of 6th place. He's 17th in points coming into this race. We'll have to see where this situates him heading into next week at Kansas. They got Mary Cole. Good run for him. We really didn't talk about that machine today. And she got a solid run of 7th. Trent Dunham. Talk about another driver who did a good job working out pit strategy. He ended up finishing 8th today. Great run for the Sega Motorsports Chevy. Dougie Shears finishes very well in the 9th position for Red Bull. And the pole sitter Levi McIntyre. We really didn't talk much about him after he lost the lead, but he hung around there and he comes away with a solid run of 10th place here today. Good performance by that 17 team. Let's see where the rest of our top 10 in points finished. Joshua Collard, one of those drivers that we were talking about to try and lock himself up a spot in the chase here today rather than having to worry about it next week at Kansas. Well, he finished 12th today. I don't know how good that's going to be to get him into the championship hunt here this week, but we'll see. How about John Cittadino? Didn't really talk about the 72. He finishes a solid run of 13th today. Nice run for him. Then you got Ian Dutta, 14th place. I think we can safely say Ian Dutta has clinched himself a spot in this season's chase today, regardless of where he's going to finish next week at Kansas. So congratulations to Ian Dutta on that. Anthony McCurry, after his win last week, 15th place today. There's Jacob Lawler. Now, he was one of those other drivers that could have clinched himself a spot. He got a 16th place finish. He may have possibly made his way in. There you got Charles Sanford, who started on the outside of the front row. He'll finish 18th today. He may have worked his way back inside the top 10 in points. Don't know. We'll find out. William Duncan got run into the back of by Dylan Poteet on pit road. He still salvages a 19th place finish today in his return to that 6 number. Richard Johnson, he was up front for a while, but he finishes 22nd. Bob Jones, 23rd for the guy who comes in 2nd in points. Don't know if he's clinched himself a chase spot or not. We'll find out. Harrison Langford in that critical 10th spot in points. He finishes 26th, so don't know where that's going to situate him. Andrea Erickson, disappointing week again of 27th place finish. Danny Wells, 30th today for the guy who comes in 5th in points. Don't know where that'll situate him. Sean Galligan, 8th in points, 32nd place today. Austin LaPlante, 9th in points, gets 33rd. So those two, they could be in trouble heading into next week at Kansas. Chris Washer, 2-time winner, 35th today. He may have to rely on a wild card spot next week. He was 6th in points. Don't know where that'll situate that machine. As we look further down through the running order here, there you take a look at the driver at the DNF. Cody Lamas out of the race, as well as Kyle Corbett. Dylan Poteet, who had that trouble on pit road with Corbett. And then Cole Daly and Charles Jackson, who was the only car this weekend to flip here at Pocono. A wild ride and a tough break as he finishes poorly again for yet another week. But that is your official results of what happened here today. James McLeod is the one that goes to victory lane today. His first win of the season, and I believe I'm correct in saying it is his first win since Season 5. So we've had 2 straight weeks where a driver who has not won for over a full season has gone back to victory lane. So how about that? James McLeod with the win here this week for Tweenix Racing. Hope you guys enjoyed this race weekend. Next week, folks, we are going to be finding out 12 drivers, maybe 13, that are going to get themselves into next season's chase for the championship. We already know one of them is going to be Ian Dutta. We may know some others depending on how the point situation looks heading into next week. You'll find all that out at the end of this video. But hope you guys enjoyed this race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. here comes your official full finishing results. Overall point stands and rookie points heading to next week. Next week, we get our chase fields locked for 10 race weekends to find out who's going to be Mobile, Oreo, and Snickers Cup Series champions for Season 7 here in the NNSCRA. Speaking of the NNSCRA, you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA. Offline racing at its best. See you guys next week for Chase Week at Kansas.